brings you to terror?
You vixen, you. Starlet, I love you. That gown is gorgeous.
Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it.
Hey there, so it's Chloe again. After providing commentary on the oh-so illustrious conductor of the sexy train, Bowling Green's own Dustin McFetridge, I decided to come back and recap another two of my favorite Predators, School Teacher Edition, featuring 43-year-old Walter Babst and 26-year-old James Jimmy Rutherford. Now, let's start off by discussing Walter Babst's age and attire. See, I can't even form a damn sentence because the Canadian tuxedo that man was wearing is just on point. He sports the faded Levi jeans and the ratty denim shirt from the Goodwill so well that he should be on the cover of GQ if GQ still even exists. But guys, I had a holy what the fuck moment because, to be honest, I was not familiar with Babs. Never heard of him. I really didn't even get familiar with TCAP until they were in Ocean County with Casey. And then that's when I realized that there was a whole nother slew of dirty old men out there, if you would exclude Jimmy from the group, because he's just dirty but not old. So I had to go and peruse the internets and go find out all the information I could about Walter Babst. So when he came in and was sporting that Canadian tuxedo, first of all, I'm still speechless. But second of all, I was thinking to myself, Chloe, what the fuck? Because it's negative 18 degrees where I work at all the time, literally. And if there's a heat wave, it's negative 8. That I myself was wearing a Canadian tuxedo. Yes. I had on a denim shirt that I had bought from the Gap. And ironically, the style of the shirt is called the boyfriend shirt. I think now it probably should be renamed the Creepy Predator shirt. And I was wearing a pair of blue skinny jeans and a tank top. So, I mean, I'm going to have to burn those clothes. But unfortunately, where I live at, there's fire ordinances. So people like me don't go running around setting random things on fire. But I digressed. Oh, by the way, did anyone notice that Jimmy already committed a crime? He stole Walter Babst's Corvette. He really should have just kept his own car and let Walter Babst keep the Corvette, because the poor man had nothing else going for him besides his level of flair. So let's go on and discuss Walter Babst's Emmy award-winning performance, or maybe it should be the Tony award-winning performance. I'm not sure. As soon as he sees Chris Hansen, he's got that look on his eyes. But he said it so good. I'm a sick son of a bitch. Just go ahead and shoot me now. Yes, you are sick, but if we shot you, then I would not be sitting here talking about you right now. So thank God nobody shot him or executed him, because then I would have nothing to talk about. So I'm glad that nobody ended his life, because like I said, I would have nothing to talk about. And that would just be so sad. For me, at least. I don't know about anybody else. But did anybody else notice the fact that he went from 39 to 43 to 40 within a span of a week? And then when Chris Hansen goes, well, what age did your profile say? And he said, I don't know, trouble, or I'm going to get in trouble. It was something along the lines of trouble. The first thing I thought to myself was, this fucker is so perceptive. He knows he's in trouble. So, Babs, I'm just going to give it to you. If you're listening to this, you get an A+ for, the stellar cognitive skills, your self-awareness, that you knew your life was over. And I'm going to leave it at that. I really don't have a whole lot to say about him. because I just wasn't impressed. He's just a creeper teacher that came in to meet Bethany, who could have been 12 or 13, and her age wasn't a big deal because people lie about it all the time, because he lied and said he was 39. Never mind the fact that he's over the age. It's okay for him to meet a 12 or 13-year-old who lied about her age because he's 39. I don't know. I can't even talk about him. He's just Walter Babst. What else is there to say? But let's talk about Jimmy for a minute. He was just oozing Backstreet Boy straight up. As soon as he walked through the door, well, he tried to walk through the door and it didn't quite work. So if he was going to break in a house, he's going to be fucking horrible, because he's going to stand there and go, "Are you there? Are you there? Are you there?" Then he might walk in. So little Jimmy thought that he could use his good looks to get out of going to jail. Which obviously it did work some way, because I think he only did 30 days in jail and he's got 10 years on the RSO. I'm going to give you a little secret. I actually don't live that far from Jimmy. It's not walking distance, but I don't live that far. But I digress. Jimmy, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you're going to try to sue me, so whatever. If you want my identity, you can have it. You got to take all my fucking bills that come with it. Everything. Just, if you're going to take it, please. In fact, I will hand it all to you. Because from what I hear, he likes to go around and sue people for defamation of character, because he has that I'm privileged syndrome going on that we shall discuss it another day. I digress. But anyway, so little Jimmy comes pulling up in his Corvette in Darke County, Ohio. And I will admit, I was impressed that Ohio had good-looking men, and the fact that there was a nice-looking house in Ohio, because from my understanding, the only thing Ohio has is Skyline Chili and Kings Island. So I didn't know that there was much else outside of there, although I'm not that far from Ohio either. So anyway, so he walks in there, and I don't remember the poor bitch's name he was trying to meet, but he's greeted by Chris Hansen, and he's just like, "I'd rather not say my name, I'd rather not say my profession. I wasn't going to do anything. Maybe just kiss her, that's it. It's just all fantasy." And he goes, "I don't know. I don't consider myself sick because I've never acted upon it." And then he's trying to do the whole bargaining chip with Chris Hansen. Like, "If I get help, will you not arrest me? Because I really need help." Yes, you do need help. You need help if you think that you're going to bargain your way out of something like this. You need all kinds of fucking help. And you also need help because that blue pullover thing you're wearing is fucking ugly. So, anywho, Jimmy, his lack of self-awareness, and like Walter Babst, deserves probably 7 points. I'm really not sure. I mean, I'm like literally scratching my head right now and rearranging my ponytail because he's just that crazy. Now, let's talk about another favorite predator of mine. None other than the number 2 conductor on the sexy train. Wait for it. Is John Wesley Elliott. First of all, who cannot love him? The fucker has got 3 first names. John Wesley Elliott. I feel like Chris Hansen and Casey should have just announced his name and just stopped for a minute to let him make a grand entrance. Just that name alone reeks of royalty and some type of social esteem. I'm not even joking. Because, you know, you had John Quincy Adams, J.P. Morgan Chase, and all the other people that had 3 first names that need not to be mentioned at this point. Benjamin Franklin, oh wait, he only had 2 names, but, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at myself. But, I'm sorry, I just can't. But where do I even begin with good old John Wesley? You know, it's kind of, I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this one, just because I still can't get over the fact that he has 3 first names, John, Wesley, and Elliot. And but we're just gonna call him Wesley for just time's sake. So Wesley walks in, and you could immediately tell, like Casey said, that he was nervous. His hands were shaking. But did anybody notice that jacket? I think it was an LL Bean knockoff for maybe 1994. And honestly, I'm surprised he wasn't sporting an IOU sweatshirt, because he looked like he stepped out of 1995. Because he still had the carpenter jeans on. He had a polo shirt. Granted, it was tucked in. And he was like, oh, I'm so nervous. And he went to the bathroom. I guess it was to adjust his penis or whatever, so he didn't look like a complete pervert. And then, you know, he went and nervously sat down. And you could tell by the look on his face. He was like, I just walked into paradise. Look at this little girl. And he was actually dumb enough to think that, one, Casey wanted to sleep with him, and number two, that Chris Hansen was a therapist. Who in the hell walks into a nice McMansion and all of a sudden a therapist walks out? This is not intervention over here. And who gets free therapy? Because whoever gets free therapy, especially from Chris Hansen, they need to let me know, because I need some extensive therapy just for the fact I'm purely obsessed with everything TCAP. It is just an unhealthy obsession. So I don't know where to begin besides his infamous when he sits down. Well, I'm kind of nervous. How do you think I look? And Casey's like, oh, you look like your pictures. God bless her little heart, sweet baby Jesus. She was so nice. But then he was like, gosh, you're pretty. And I wish I could do a better John Wesley Elliott, but I can't, unfortunately. So I'm trying to think here, because he has so much going on for him. Like I said, the knockoff LL Bean jacket. He was the carpenter jeans, the polo shirt, and the fact that he did have a belt on. So I'm going to give him that. But those glasses are something else too. Honestly, that man reminds me of the guy that sits down in your mother's basement, or in his mom, that lives with his mom and is in the basement, like, creeping on kitty porn and jacking off, which obviously he knows he loves to jack off, because that's what he said that he likes to do. That's his hobby. And he likes to sit around naked too. Frankly, I'm surprised that damn webcam just did not crash. But then again, the webcam Lauren had didn't crash either, so. But we shall move on from that subject. But I would give him money to throw his damn clothes back on, because he was just gross looking, like puke on your shoes, gross. So he sits there and he's just like, and Casey says, so what'd you have in mind? He goes, well, I'd like to kiss you. And he's like, but I know that's wrong. And then, you know, him and Casey shoot the shit a little while more, and then in walks Chris Hansen, and Chris sits down and said, well, you had plans with a lovely 13-year-old this evening. Did you want to have sex with her? He was like, no, I was just going to give her oral. Chris says, oral? Well, I didn't think oral was that bad. When I first saw this, I was yelling at the TV screen. It doesn't matter. Everything is bad. The fact that you drove 2 hours, and the fact that you admitted you wanted to kiss her, and the fact that you wanted to do those things to her is bad. It is wrong. And then when he said, oh, I should be sent to an island. No island wants you. They would kick you off the island just for the fact that you're ugly. But then again, they might keep him because his name is John Wesley Elliott. I'm really not sure. But he had the nerve to say, I know who you are. I can tell. You're a therapist. And Chris is like, oh, really? No, I'm Chris Hansen. This is Dateline MSNBC. I'm sorry. So for John Wesley Elliott, I get him confused with the other one, John Paul Weary, because there's something about Johns and Michaels. Apparently anybody named John or Michael, like Michael Manzo, Michael, that sailor guy, wasn't a sailor. What was his name? Popovich. There's so many Michaels, I just can't name it. And then, you know, you had like John Dubois, and then they're just Johns and Michaels. I guess they're just pedophiles. But I will say, for his honesty, he was very honest. He gets, on a scale of 1 to 10, he gets a 15. For his lack of awareness is a -2. Because for anyone to think that they're that special that they're going to get an intervention in the middle of trying to lure a 13-year-old is, there's no words to describe how out of touch reality you are and how stupid you are. So, John Wesley Elliott, once again, I'm at a loss for words. It's a common theme here because the antics of these people, the fact that they think that an attractive girl wants to sleep with them is beyond me. And the fact that they think that half of them think they didn't do anything wrong just dumbfounds me. But John Wesley Elliott, if you're listening to this, look me up on Facebook because I will gladly be your therapist. I'm just going to charge you $125 an hour. Or I need my windows repaired because my little condo is screaming 1987. Probably 1986. But we're going to go with 87 because it makes me feel better about myself. So no, it's only 30 years old. No, it's 2018, so it's 31. But I don't know who is more sexier, Dustin or John. Folks, I'll leave it up to you to decide. So let me know your thoughts. I will be back later to talk about Kennelly.